Hello, this is Lisa Lee and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to be working with this full moon in Taurus energy, which is whoa. And Taurus rules the throat chakra. And so this reading is what truth needs to be spoken to you right now, related to what you need to know about your material, like planted world, and spiritually, what needs to go, what's coming in. Also, what's being set in motion for your future. So we're going to look at all of that and just really just get something, that's going to come through with this energy that is it's going to help us process some of this stuff through. So I'm going to speed everything up for the shuffle if you want to hang out and watch that. If not, this timestamp of the reading when it starts will be right below. All right. So we're going to start with the Oracle cards, and then we're going to overlay with the Tarot cards, because that's just what Spirit said to do, so I'm going to do it. It's seeming like it's interesting what I'm looking at, because there's a sense in which you are in this dark, I'm looking at this bottom of the deck energy over here, this dark underworld kind of energy. And the underworld card is like basically this card that says like you are in it, you're in it. But everybody finds themselves in it, and so you just have to work your way through. What truth do you need to hear right now? Wow. Spirit is bringing through something very cool about like the energy, like how this energy with the full moon in Taurus is going to be like moving forward like for like 100 days. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. There's so much happening within you. So before we even pull Tarot, like Spirit wants to address like everything that is happening within you right now, because it's pretty significant. It's this blending of energies that I am in awe of almost. So the healing energy here, I like reading the little blurbs with these. Healing energy is the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. So this is about healing. That's sort of where, we're going to start there with this reading, because with the full moon in Taurus, like that information, this truth that you need to hear is that this whole situation where we are right now, this is about healing. And the reason that you find yourself in this underworld position is because this is about healing. Spirit wants to say, like, you manifested healing. You sat there and manifested the crap out of healing. What you didn't realize, this is coming in like very authoritatively. If I sound like angry for some reason, like I'm channeling, I have no idea what's going on, so just bear with me. But Spirit is saying, like, you asked for healing. You asked for it. You did it. What you didn't understand is, like, when you ask for assistance from the divine, they will actually put you through a dark night of the soul. And I'm channeling this energy, so we're just going with it. So yeah, Spirit is saying, like, this is about healing. And the underworld that you find yourself in right now, where it's so confusing and just like, it's horrible. It's not, I love that this card, like the meaning of it is basically like, it's horrible and that's it. Like, that's basically like, I mean, I could read it, but it's like something along those lines. And it does, I mean, I don't know, this is a grungy kind of feeling, but I get it. So this Spirit saying you were calling in here, you were calling it in and calling it in and calling it in. And so now we have transition, and transition looks scary, and transition doesn't like feel, you don't feel like the most confident like when you're doing something completely new. And for some people, like, not being in a space of complete and total confidence feels like a living hell, but it's not. It's called transition, and this is when you're changing. And when you're changing, you don't like show up as fully developed, you show up as in flux, and it feels like a little bit like bread that isn't cooked in the middle, and you just have to like be okay with that, because you're gonna, this turns into dynamic. It does. So I'm going to read this. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence in our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. So this is the thing. This feels like the underworld. It feels like I live here now. And Spirit is saying, no, like the beauty is that like what you're getting from this frequency of transition is insurance that what you can always count on is change. And like, what does that mean? It's a good thing. So I don't want change. Yes, you do. If you think about like the atom or, you know, just the building blocks, everything vibrates. Anything rigid is going to have a horrible time of existing, because to be in flow is to be in change. And so, and you can trust that. You can actually learn to like sit on that, like a super comfortable chair. And then you can take risks without issues. You can, you know, explore things without worrying about like how it affects like the structure of the structure of the structure. And so being born out of that, we see you coming into this dynamic position. I'm going to read this. It's a beautiful card too. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. So this is when you're taking the new, you're taking like what you are, what you've been, how you've been in the world, how you see things, all of the things that like end up surviving a transition, like basically like the core stuff, and merging that with the new, like building from a place of I'm in the middle, leads to like this dynamic fusion of the new and the old. And that's where you have power, and that's where you have like a vision, and you're able to really like go like do in a way unencumbered manifestation. It's great. And so like that's what you're moving into, with the Mother and the Virgin in shadow aspect. Let me read them both. So the shadow aspect of the Mother is smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. And with the Virgin, the shadow aspect is fear of intimate union. And so these are like things that you have been working really hard on, in terms of healing those mother wounds. Mother wounds are weird. They're insidious. They're relentless sometimes. Because I don't know, something about like the connection to our mothers. Our moms have our cells, like the mother. I don't know why Spirit's bringing this through, so we're not going to encumber the message. I don't know where this comes from. If it's true, it's a channel, so we're just going to listen. The cells of the fetus remain in the mother for the rest of her life. And there is a connection there. That is a felt connection. And so that smothering and abandoning children come up as the same, even energetically, is really interesting to me. Because the root of both of those does seem to both be instilling guilt in their children for becoming independent. So like this has been really difficult, because it's independent also feels like a free fall sometimes. And with the fear of intimate union, like that's, I think, what this is. I think that like having that connection like was affecting intimate unions. And so like this has been some really intense work. The Spirit is like, I know that you're struggling with this. That you're struggling with this like idea or ability with intimate union, and that it has a lot to do with what you're connected to umbilically, with this Mother card in reverse showing up just this way. Yeah, because becoming independent has been something that like has been really difficult. There's just been this horrible fear around self-sabotage. This card right now, the way it's coming through, it's like, I can't trust myself. I've done some things to myself that suck so bad that obviously like my decision-making meter, or, you know, whatever the machine in my brain that makes the, just like this is this feeling of like doubt in the self, and like a fear related to mistakes, and like I can't trust myself to make good decisions because look at that shit show in my past. Like that's what this is. And so Spirit is saying that like you have let yourself actually like live in self-sabotage when it comes to intimate relationships of any kind, friendships, like anyone who gets like closer than 1.5 inches, there's a tendency to like bring all of the crap from the other relationships that went badly like into it. And Spirit is saying that this is freedom coming in. What is full moon in Taurus bringing in for us? Like, what is this energy that's happening? It's freedom by way of losing control, which is a straight feral freedom, right? This card, the animal, always reminds me of these like feral moments when you can't pretend to be anything that you're not. There's these moments in life, like, and I guess you could call them like temper tantrums or crying fits, or where your emotions just like, it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, you're having that emotion and there's nothing that can be done about it. It's like a stomach virus for like for the emotional equivalent. And so Spirit is saying these are these feral moments that break you free. They break you free. They don't feel like they're breaking you free, but they do, because you know they do force you to. This card right now is this is interesting. I'm getting a very interesting thing come through that is what is so it's like the spaceman, and he's cut from the ship. And we've all seen this scene in the movies. Spaceman gets detached is basically what it is, and you see him and he's like flying and he's watching the oxygen meter and it sucks, and it's just like the slowest, most horrific way to die because it's like total alienation. This bird is like flying out of that hell pit of a perspective, and with the knowledge of how to teach other people how to get out of that perspective. It's like, I got out of hell with the map. That's what I'm seeing here. And so this is like a really beautiful thing that's coming in for you, that like you're from the future now. That's what I'm seeing here with the Aquarius. It's time to be free and eccentric and weird and edgy, and there's this beauty here in like what you can create from the energy of Aquarius. That's how I create. I really do. And so the gift for you is in being able to create something that has a humanitarian value to it, and that is also really out there and new, future oriented, like a kind of like a revelation is kind of how I'm seeing it. And with Mercury here in communication, yeah, being able to communicate a revelation. It's like, I got the map, I know how to get out, and now I can communicate the revelation. And in whatever way it is, it does bring you into a relationship with your soulmate. And so that's what we're seeing here in the way of like what's happening with the full moon in Taurus. Like, this is what we're dealing with. So we're going to pull some cards now, some tarot cards. Let's see which ones. Let's go with the angel deck. Yeah, so this is a good message so far. I'm really vibing with it. In terms of like the channel is strong and good, and it feels like potent. So where do we want to start asking Spirit some questions about all this? This is pretty straightforward. That's painful to be in the area of, but I'm going to just pull 2 cards on it, because even though it's a painful place to muck around, I just want to see if there's something that Spirit wants to bring through in the way of healing advice related to that issue, because that's hard. Let's see what we have there. Oop, that came right out. 5 of Wands, inner conflict related to Hierophant. The Hierophant. Okay, what's the Hierophant? The Hierophant is the structure. 8 of Cups, walking away from some structure. You know, this could be marriage, it could be a job. It's an institution of some kind, and the marriage is an institution. So divine forgiveness, obtains friendship, and favors of the great, secures promises. So there's a sense in which this is like a holy of like the way that structures exist from like a main structure. That's really complicated the way I just put that. But with the 8 of Cups, we have transformation, we have walking away, we see this here. Letting go of something that you put a lot of emotional investment in. 8 out of 10 Cups, emotional investment, walking away from that hurts. It really, really does. And with the 5 of Wands related to this structure, all right, I gotta just see what that, I need a little bit more actually on that. What is this conflict about related to structure? Well, it kind of makes sense. for you to get anywhere near intimacy, which is what you definitely crave, because we all do, and not just like boring intimacy. I don't know why that came out like that, but it's almost like you live, like, yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's like you having a lot of inner conflict about feeling like the structure that you live in is a place of feeling stuck. And that's interesting, because you are walking away, even if it's a big, heavy burden to do so. So what is this structure exactly? Because I don't know if it's striking me as the institution of marriage right now, like given the context of the cards it's clarifying. It means that there's a lot of inner conflict about changing something that is structural. What the hell is that? It's a complete and total change. Walking away again, and the Tower, and Temperance, and the Hierophant. Okay, so change, writ large change. You're gonna move away, like a world away, and this actually might be like, so something happened here with the Tower that took down the foundation, and it took down the foundation to the degree that it wasn't even worth walking. That you just walked away from everything in the way of emotional investment. And this is bringing you into like a new everything. So whatever the structure that you were working within or creating from or like operating out of, that had its roots in not becoming completely independent somehow. You're walking away from like the wreckage of that and being guided to a new structure that's a little bit, that's starting with one pentacle kind of, but oh, I need water. Oh my God. I thought I was gonna cough. Throat chakra. Yeah, I'm gonna cough. Okay, so man, like my voice just like, so this was hard. This was hard to deal with, is what that is saying to me. Like I can't even talk. It's like it's such a big deal somehow. All right. So you're starting on a new page, and Spirit wants you to be aware of like not bringing, what's the self-sabotage, Spirit? So the healing message here is like you did it. You accomplished. You finished. You finished the horrible lesson. All finished. All done. No more of that. Lesson learned. And where is that bringing us in relation to self-sabotage, Spirit? Where is that bringing us in relation to self-sabotage? Seven of Swords. Four of Cups. And the Page of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have Temperance again. You've got such an angel with you. You've got angelic everything in all kinds of directions protecting whatever's happening with you. There's a lot. Look at this. We've got, look, it's Temperance and Temperance again. So like the angels are coming through strong in this reading. And what I'm looking at in terms of the Page of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Seven of Swords, you realize that, oh my gosh, this sucks. this is this moment of like, everything I thought was wrong. Everything I believed was wrong. It was all of it. That's this moment right here. I deceived myself to the tune of everything, is what this is. And so like, there's such a fear of repeating that, why would that be? Hold on, let me get some cards, because that feels a little extreme to me. And I want to find out like what to do with that information. Spirit, what do we do with that information? What do we do with that information? Okay. Wow. Love it. All right. More? Okay, one more. Wait, what? The cards are really slippery in this weird way. One more. Huh. That's interesting. All right. Okay, cut. All right, and all right. This is related to letting yourself heal. Yeah, so like this is related to this grieving process, and so what do we do with this? So self-sabotage actually is in this instance, Spirit is kind of showing me that this is just someone being like, there's this feeling of like, who led me wrong like this? Who did this? who are these like dark shadows that like was it the fact that the parent did like a thing or something? How did I end up getting led into this moment of like, I can't see my way forward, my intuition is blocked out, and like I was wrong about everything somehow? And Spirit is saying, you're looking at it wrong. Has nothing to do with you. She is being led. She is being led. She's actually being led. And it's not a person or an ideology. I mean, it probably is. But like the overarching sort of message that's coming through from Spirit is every single one of us has to get to a dead end at a certain point where we turn around and look at a different direction. It's guaranteed. It's a human experience. And to blame yourself for, arriving at a dead end is a different kind of deception about how everything is. So, being like scared because like everything that you thought was the case wasn't. And like, how could you have been so like blind to that? Spirit is basically saying like, no, it's really like, this is part of the process. This is part of what you're doing. And it's a different kind of deception to say it's all because of me, right? Because you were being led. And so Spirit is saying, in order to heal this, we just want to like, this is self-love with clarity about your healing process. That's what it is. So you've been through this healing process because you were hurt and it was horrible. So then you had to go through this. And having clarity about what self-love is, because it's an elusive term that like usually leads down like weird roads, like where bubble baths aren't as satisfying as they should be. Having clarity about self-love, like that is a healing process in and of itself. And that's sort of what you're in right now, where you're in this, like, I gotta get better so I can stand up and like get back at it with life. And I need some clarity about what is going to like give me the sustenance to do anything at this point, because I don't have a lot of faith in myself because of what happened. And Spirit is saying like, retreat a little bit from, well, just, okay, two things. One, get rid of that conclusion that you somehow could do, that you had the power to do this to yourself, is a little bit like, Spirit is like, that's a kind of a arrogance in and of itself. You didn't have a power to wreck your life the way that it happened. Like, you bumped up against forces that put you in a position where you have to be right now learning like a level of certainty about self-love so that you can have faith in your ability to heal and sustain that healing. And that allows you to go out and get hurt again, which is something that you're going to need, because like the magical lesson of transition seems to be that like you're actually, the truth of the matter is, since everything that comes at you, you're going to survive it, you're going to be fine, you just will, because that's the truth. Like, it disempowers negative outcomes, because you know that you always have everything you need to heal. So like nothing can actually hurt you. To think that something can actually hurt you is just wrong. Okay? Like just specifically kind of wrong. To say, something hurt me. Yes, it did, but if you can heal, then it can't hurt you. That's a weird channel that's coming through. If you can heal, then you take away the ability for the thing that hurt you to hurt you. You make yourself superhuman, like invincible. A bullet hits you, you pull it out, you heal. And then you can keep on going. There's like power in that. And so like, that's that's what this change, not fearing change, like not fearing these bullets that like are going to affect your path. That is the energy of transition that is being like really intensely shown to me right here. So intensely that I kind of like lost track of time, space, and everything. So anyway, let's come back over to here, the animal. So yeah, so you're like this feral, like breaking free here that's happening for you. So that you because this, I love this, like leading the way out of hell. Like, I got the map. It's so good. It's the spaceman returns with a way out and doesn't end up just floating in alienation. And the spaceman returns with the map because of the freedom that came through this. Let's see what this says. What is this, Spirit? Tell me more. Tell me more. What am I looking at? Queen of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles. What about that? Balancing. What is that? Finding this incredible balance. Finding this incredible balance. Ah, that's what it was. So like the bottom of the bottom of the deck energy is Four of Swords, and with the animal and the mentor, like this falling off balance, like, and because you have to break yourself out of something, like led to that like spaceman, right? And now we see you coming back strong with the map in your pocket. And all of this, what is this going to give you? What's the gift here? The gift here is like perfect, like elegant, grounded Queen of Pentacles balance at your core. You just, this is your abundance, and you feel totally balanced about it because you feel like you're coming from a solid, like good place. So that's what, like, there's a gift in like this period of transition that starts off as like spaceman drifting backwards and ends at like having conquered all. I can now, like, the wind is going to take me wherever I'm going to go. I can glide on the wind of space, which there's no wind in space. So this is an owl that has actually like transcended the limitations that were outlined. And what did that do? Bring a tremendous abundance of all things and a balanced groundedness to that abundance of all things, which is dope. And bottom of the deck again, like, this is healing. What is healing? What is healing? What is healing? I don't know, Spirit's like, keep asking that question, so I'm going to do it. What is healing? Putting down this crazy burden. The breaking point burden. Done. Done. Because 10 of Pentacles. You put down that burden, guess where you are? This is stability writ large. Inner and outer work. Helps one keep their job, protects against disasters. I mean, this is an established energy with the 10 of Pentacles. It's kind of, and with the Queen of, look at you, Queen of Pentacles, totally balanced. 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. What was the cost? A measly, horrible, holding on to like, so I always think of the wands as like inspirations, like passionate somethings. When you're carrying 10 of them, that's horrible. It's backbreaking. It's an enormous load. And in reverse is, often I see that as like, this is your breaking point and you've met it. Introducing your breaking point. Here it is. And so this is letting that go, letting it go, letting go of trying to control how the transition happens with you in any given thing is leading to this dynamic healing situation. Let's get some cards here on what are you bringing into the world that's so new, related to communication. What are the cards here? What is this truth that the full moon of Taurus is giving us? Wow, the cards are feeling strange right now. I'm having a hard time shuffling, which is weird. Maybe this is the wrong deck. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gonna get a different deck. This is like not wanting to work out. Well, you're getting good with your words, that's for sure. You're getting clear on how you think about things. There's a clarity coming in where you just are not even gonna have to think about like whether or not you're making the right decision, or you're gonna be so motivated from the right place that you're gonna be clear, and it's gonna be kind of effortless to communicate in a way that is so decisive and really intelligent. Want to be, you know what? You do want to be heard. You do want to be heard, and you will be. That's what this is telling me. Ooh, look at that. What are we looking at here? This is awesome, actually. So this is a new thing. It's new. You think of it on your own, and you're like, whoa! It's like a very good, mind-blowing kind of. You know what's good about this? It's an insight that carries you. That very rarely do I see the King of Swords and think of levity, but this card right here, the way it's feeling, this is a victory kind of a feeling. This is beautifully born of your own thinking, and there you go. We have this. We're at 8 of Pentacles here, so it's like the idea comes to you, and you're like, oh, I'm already there, like to the 8 Pentacle, 10 being like you're there. So you have this great idea, this insight that comes in, and like part of the beauty of like what it means to communicate this is like you're like already like a third of the way there. And so you take action like quickly. So like all the stagnancy, like, oh, I don't know, where am I going? Like, what is it? As soon as you have this beautiful insight, and I might get some details on this. As soon as you have this beautiful insight, you're able to take like, that's when like it goes from like stagnant to like immediately thing. And it's this, and it's a 10 of Pentacles kind of a situation. Spirit is saying like you have been angelically guarded from effing this up. That's like quite literally the angels have like swooped down into the situation and been like, forget this 10 of Wands backbreaking misery. Over here we have an idea, a new idea that is so amazingly cool and incredible and like future. It's the future. Related to how you want to communicate something, the way you communicate something, or something with communication. And damn, your 8 Pentacles there, you take action, boom, 10 Pentacles, effortless, and the angels are like, see, we made you have to sit by yourself because this is what you have for you. And so you had to sit there and learn your emotional intelligence and get your grips and your insights and your sense of self stuff. The King of Pentacles, and I'm King of Vessels, sorry. Oh, Pentacle, yeah. The King of Cups here, the angel is saying you had to sit there on the rock and become the King of Cups because this is what you needed to do, and they ensured it. And so there's also this element to the self-blame stuff over here where it's like, no, this is part of the path, Let's get some cards on the soulmate, and then we will close at that. But there's really beautiful stuff coming in for you with this Taurus full moon. This leads to soulmate. What are we getting out of the situation? Change is a pain in the ass. This horrible thing that you went through was like needed. You needed that restructuring within yourself. So everything that was bad structure, you had to go away from because it was terrible and you couldn't deal with it. And this was hard. But now you have a whole new thing, incorporating the old and the new with the healed version. Over here, if being like gun shy, not believing in yourself anymore, like being like, I can't anything, because I was wrong about everything. And Spirit is like, no, see, you were led. And And now the self-love, like how do you do that? That's the lesson over here. How do you do it? Before I go to the soulmate, I'm gonna just, this is just gonna be a little bit long, like all of my other readings. How do we do this? Acceptance. Acceptance about like what's lost. Instead of being like, letting it shape you and how you are in the world. Just accept, like, that was horrible. And that's this King of Cups place of like, how do I work with this and how do I make sense of this and how do I become strong in all of this? I have to go like through the emotions and figure that out in order to get to this place where I can create with total confidence again. So in terms of this soulmate energy, what do we got here? What do we got here? Spirit, what is the soulmate energy? Nice. Let's see where that's leading. Where's this leading? That King of Swords. What's that? All right. I love it. What is the soulmate? Where? So. All right. So, as far as the soulmate stuff is, like this leads to a soulmate as well. It's like a homecoming, like come home, you know, right? Kind of a feeling, and but it's like with a person, and this is something that's like spiritual, super spiritual with the Hermit. This is like an inside knowing, leading you like, you know, from a spiritual place instead of his eyes are closed, but you know the lamp, you know, represents like the inner guide. That's connected to source and being led by that. So this this language of the soul is the language that your soulmate speaks. And so learning it for yourself, because it's your language of your soul, allows you to connect in like that way. Very beautiful. With this King of Swords, like you get there with your mind first, and that's notable, because why is that notable? It's notable because what? Wait, one more card. Because the King of Swords here is representing like this freedom from, this is a healing kind of a thing. Yeah, this has to do with wish fulfillment. Like this is like actually being like, no, I'm making this decision to move forward toward community writ large, actually, toward community writ large. Because it's, even though it's like headaches and like nervous and this is a horrible feeling, stuck in your head, like can't sleep, so angry, freaked out. Yeah, this is for your wish fulfillment is in this encounter with the soulmate. You do have to go back out into the world. Like you've been healed. You're healed enough, or you're healing, but you're in the process of like healing enough to get back out there. And there's headaches about doing this on your own. Like, look at that. You have 9 pentacles. Maybe you don't feel like you have 9 pentacles, but you've got the 9 pentacles. This is, you've got it. You've got it. All the pentacles you need to do whatever you want. You're independent. You're well regarded, you feel good independently. This is anxiety, but this is also wish. This is anxiety, but this is also wish fulfillment. And so Spirit is saying where that's going to lead you, through that anxiety. You got to walk through that anxiety in order to get community, but once you get there, you're good to go. You know, you can't really, wow, you can't really lie to yourself anymore about what you're dealing with here with the 7 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. You can't really lie to yourself, somehow. Yeah, there's a soulmate card, the 6 of Cups. So like your journey towards the soulmate, it has to do with you like breaking out of your perspective that like this is, you've only got 4 pentacles, you've got to keep hold of all of them, and like That's all that you are, right? You're being led by the Spirit into a place of insight that is coming from a very healed you. And you know you have to get out there and get back into community. And the truth of the matter is you do have 9 Pentacles. You're fine. You have what you need. You're fine. You're better than you think you are. And that's where there's a soulmate there. It's pretty guaranteed. And so that is the message. Yeah. This is what came through with the full moon in Taurus. And I'm actually just going to close with one more activation. And then we're done. So this activation is a gift from this is energy. It wants to come in for you. Throat chakra. Perfect. Perfect. What did we say at the beginning of the reading? Taurus rules the throat chakra. And this is about speaking your truth. This is all about speaking your truth. This is being in your truth, living your truth, operating out of your truth. And yeah, so this is our gift here. This is our gift. All right, so that was a great reading. I hope you got something out of it. That felt really good for me, and I hope to see you again soon.